Welcome to Breaking Ties, Destination Divorce. This is your go-to source for practical advice and support while you go through the divorce process. Join us each weekday for a quick chat where we'll cover a variety of topics such as child custody, property division, and self-care. Together, we'll explore emotional, financial, and legal aspects of divorce and help you find the best path forward for you and your family. Here's your host and Certified Divorce Financial Analyst professional, Mike Fulkerson.
Hello and welcome to today's podcast, Breaking Ties, Destination Divorce. In this episode, we'll be discussing a topic that affects many couples going through a divorce. Who gets the house? Divorce is a complicated process. It's draining, and dividing property is one of the most challenging aspects. So, who gets the house? There is no one answer to this question, as it depends on a variety of factors. If a couple owns a house, it is considered marital property, and both parties have a right to an equitable share of the property. Equitable share means that the court will divide the property in a way that's fair and just, but not necessarily equal. This means that the division of the property will depend on specific circumstances of the couple and the court's assessment of what's fair and reasonable. And, the court's going to look at a variety of factors, such as the length of the marriage, contributions each spouse made to the marriage, and income and earning potential of each spouse, not to mention the needs of any children involved. So what's an example of how these factors might come into play when deciding who gets the house? Let's take a look. So say a couple has been married 20 years, and during that time, one spouse stayed home to take care of the children while the other spouse worked and earned a high income. In this case, the court may decide that the stay-at-home spouse deserves a larger share of the marital property, including the house, to compensate for sacrifices they made to support the family. Now, an interesting twist is, what if there's only one of the spouse's names on the deed? If only one spouse's name is on the deed, that spouse is considered the sole owner of the property. However, if the other spouse can prove they contributed to the property's purchase or maintenance, they may still have a claim to a portion of the property. Now, then there's prenuptial agreements. If there's a prenuptial agreement, the agreement will typically dictate how property should be divided in the event of a divorce. As long as the agreement is valid and enforceable, the court will usually abide by its terms. So, if you're going to divide up the house in addition to the other assets and things, I always recommend consulting with an experienced divorce attorney. An attorney can help you understand your rights and options under the law and can work with you to negotiate a fair and reasonable division of the property. I'd like to thank you for listening to today's episode of Breaking Ties, Destination Divorce. If you have any questions, my contact information's in the description. I'm always happy to help. And keep in mind that divorce is not the end of your story. It is the start of your next great chapter. We'll see you next time. Take care.
We want to thank you for listening to this episode of Breaking Ties, Destination Divorce with Mike Fulkerson. For questions, please reach out to Mike via email in the description or give him a shout at 630-444-1410. Remember to subscribe, like, and follow.